delivered. This is my dream budget. Yeah, this is my dream budget. I woke up in the morning, said I need a middle class tax cut. FM delivered. I needed deregulation intent. The FM set up a committee just to deregulate. I needed revenue expenditure, subsidies in double digits, pro-poor spending double digits. FM's announced that, and the only bit she hasn't delivered on us. I was hoping capex grows in single digits, but I think she wanted to give some hope to the pro-capex cap. So it's a 10% growth in capex. This is the lowest growth in government capex in 5 years. This is the highest growth in government revex in 5 years. I think it's a pro-poor, pro-SME, pro-middle class budget. And as Aisha is suggesting, for those of us who invest heavily in consumption and in high-quality export companies, this is just the budget we needed to act as a tonic for us in these difficult times.
And it's coming at the right time, right? Because if you look at the equity valuations for these consumption plays across the board, and especially after the recent market correction,
absolutely,
they're looking pretty ripe.
Absolutely, I think it's coming at the right time. From this 1 lakh crore tax reduction for the middle class is also coming at the right time. Right? GDP growth is flagging, lowest GDP growth print in I think 9 or 10 quarters. GDP growth is flagging. 1 lakh crore stimulus to the middle class, to the economy, roughly 0.7 to 1% GDP growth stimulus. It will kick in, I think, through F26. We needed this. Earnings growth was lagging, GDP growth was lagging, FII interest in India was lagging. I think all of those potentially change in FY26.
Okay, so the maths is that 1 lakh crore of direct tax savings. Government is saying that it will not occur because of tax cut, but I would say it's the money which comes back into the economy. How will that get deployed? Markets are saying it will go back to the HULs and the ITCs of the world. Some are saying it will go back to the Marutis and the Mahindras of the world. How will the delta of that 1 lakh crore move?
I think to the extent that the biggest tax cut as the biggest income boost as a percentage of their disposable income are those in the lowest tax bracket. Anything that the lowest tax bracket over indexes on should do the best, right? So FMCG should be a natural candidate for a significant boost. I think for 9 or 10 quarters, FMCG volume growth has been 2%, right? That's pathetic at many levels. We should see that number move up nicely. That's the first layer of benefit. One layer up would be sort of semi-discretionary items such as apparel, right? So apparel,
Okay,
kapda,
okay.
right? Then apparel, right?
Yeah.
So apparel. My pronunciation isn't up to the mark. Thanks, Aisha. So anyway, apparel. So while Trent has done well for us, there are many other apparel companies who haven't done so well. I think that's the second semi-discretionary item. Then you move up another notch, right? The auto piece. Bhargava Savar Maruti has been saying for many months now that 10 lakh ke niche gaadi bik hi nahi rahi hai. I've seen that myself in showrooms. Even motorcycle sales have been weak. I think that 10 lakh ke niche auto OEM piece benefits, and we have Aisha Motors there in our portfolio for many years. The sort of Grand Vitara Thar Rocks wala piece was anyway rocking, so I'm not so sure how much of a benefit will confer there. But not to forget, the banks will also benefit. The SAP piece of CASA, was in desperately bad shape. So if you by giving every Indian taxpayer 80,000 rupees, I think the FM is creating grounds for the banks to get an uplift in their SAP piece of CASA, and therefore it's not just FMCG. There's some element of discretionary as well, and not to forget the SA piece. We needed the banking system to have liquidity.
Quite interesting. And you can see that in the names which are actually pulling up right now. DMart is at the high point of the day, 9.5% higher. Trent, the apparel category, clearly evident there, almost an 8% uptick. And guess what? Phoenix Mills.
So, the things which were on the back seat comes to the front seat, and what is the front seat goes back to the back seat. Pretty much a contrast of the 2021 budget. 2021, they pivoted the other way around, and that in a sense was called as the capex ka mahakumbh. I think that was the term which everybody used, that India mein capex ka mahakumbh chalu hone wala hai. Magar kya hai, consumption ki Diwali hai. Because the difference is that the expenditure cycle was a very long one. This capex cycle, this consumption cycle may just be a short one, because ultimately economy has to do well for this to do well.
I'll beg to differ, Nikul. See, we are a democracy, right? So democracy mein, if the poor don't have money and the middle class don't have money, how on earth will you score well in elections? I think that was why I was perplexed by the capex ka mahakumbh wale saal, 2021 to 25. I simply couldn't fathom what was happening, because it didn't make any sense to me. You're in a democracy, you're giving away political power and votes by taking money away from the poor and the middle class and putting it in the capex ecosystem. I think 4th June 24 was where the reality dawned, and this is why I think this is a game changer budget. The NDA has gone back to what they did so well in their first term, and I don't think the capex setback is just for this budget. I think the entirety of NDA 3, we will see a pro-consumer, pro-SME, pro-poor orientation, and that should help people like us who invest primarily in capex and light industrials. People like us who invest in consumer and light industrials and stay away from the capex plays. The disclaimer here is I'm invested in all of this, so are my parents, so are my 5,000 clients. But from our perspective, we were bemused by 2021 to 24. I think this for us is the NDA that we know and the NDA that we feel very comfortable with.
But Saurabh,
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.